Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Welcome all guys!
What's up, everybody? Welcome. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, glad you could join us. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Oh, we got a lot to get to today. A lot happening in the sports world. We got crazy trades in the NBA. We got a new U.S. Open champion in golf. Dennis Silvers will be joining us, the golf guru, in hour number 2, as well as Jamison Walsh from Drive Time Sports. Talk a little NBA, what the Lakers did, and, of course, the Toronto Raptors partying it up in Las Vegas over the weekend. We'll get to that as well. It is Monday. And because it is Monday, that means Mr. Chris Wynn joining us in studio as well. Chris, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you guys as well. Always a loaded weekend, right? Stuff going on left and right in Las Vegas over the weekend. Quality charity baseball game going down over at Las Vegas Ballpark.
That's right.
Some old school UNLV guys out there hitting bombs. Some old Major League Baseball stars out there also launching them. So it was a great event for a good cause, and it was well attended. Shap and Shapiro. A lot of people out there for that.
Our friend of the show, Anderson Hunt, hit a bomb as well. So, we'll get into that as well in hour number 2. Speaking of events, we got a fun one coming up on Thursday. I want to bring this up before we talk about the news of the day. We want you to join us live at Rodizio Grill. It's located at 1300 West Sunset Road in Henderson. We will be there starting at 5 p.m., doing our show live there, 6 to 8. Free appetizers, drinks for anybody who shows up. Join us, say hello. Call me a name, do whatever you like. Well, hopefully you don't do that. Hopefully you'll say hello. And maybe even get on the air with us. Jump on the air with us for a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. Special celebrity guest will be in attendance as well. That's Rodizio this Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. Free food and drinks. Join us, the Vegas Take, broadcasting live this Thursday. And again, that is on 1300 West Sunset Road in Henderson. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Chris, I know you will be there.
JD, any truth to the rumor that there's going to be a Brian Shapiro dunk tank over there at Rodizio on Thursday?
Up to this point, that's just a rumor.
Hey, I can't swim, so that really wouldn't be fair. I'll tell you someone else who seems to be drowning by the day since he opened up a Twitter account the other day. That would be O.J. Simpson. That's right, the juice himself. So he opens up this Twitter account. And he's never been on social media before. He's been in jail for a long time. Even though there was Twitter before he went to jail, he's never been involved in the social media stuff. So he opens up this Twitter account, and he posts an immediate video as soon as he opens this account. And here's exactly what he had to say.
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. Now, there's a lot of fake OJ accounts out there, so this one, at the real OJ32, is the only official one. So this should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do. So God bless. Take care.
Man, I don't even know where to start with this, but let me be clear, okay? First of all, this man, before I believe he killed his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman. And yes, I do believe that because the evidence is overwhelming. And I understand, I say all the time on this show, innocent until proven guilty. He was found guilty in the civil suit, liable for those 2 deaths. The evidence is overwhelming. His DNA, I don't want to go through the O.J. case all over again. How many years ago? 25 years ago or something like that?
Well, they found the original killer, right? They found the person who actually did it.
Yeah, right. They found. I'm sure O.J.'s working really hard these days to try to find out who decapitated his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman. The man is guilty, and anyone who thinks otherwise is a buffoon. Okay, that's just the bottom line.
And he also might be Khloe Kardashian's father.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. See, you always jump to stuff. We'll get to that. I got this written down. You don't think I wrote that down? We're going to get to that, JD. Calm down. No, but that is another video that he released. Yeah. So let make that clear, okay? The man is a murderer, okay? He just is. Okay, so stop it. If you don't think he's a murderer, you're either a racist or you have an IQ of 20. Couple people on the jury pool. One of them raised the Black Power sign walking out of the courtroom. I'm talking about the double murder when he was found not guilty. There were racists on that jury pool, and guess what? There are also a lot of dumb people on that jury. So stop it with the innocent stuff. This man is a murderer, and I would say that to his face if I ever do see him. I really would. But now that I got that out of the way, okay, what does he mean getting even? You know who should get even with him? the Goldman family? Or how about friends and family of Nicole Brown Simpson? Those are the people that should be getting it. How about the justice system? Or as I like to call it, the injustice system. Who do you need to get even with? Lance Ito? What is he talking about? Who does he need to get even with? What? The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department? Maybe you shouldn't have held people hostage at Palace Station. Why don't you take responsibility for your own actions? Guys, what is he talking about when he says getting even? What does that mean? What, with Cato Kalin, he wants some rent money? What is he talking about?
Well, here's the problem, Shap, is there's no self-awareness, okay? You understand, if you're O.J. Simpson, the perception of you out there, right? You understand what America feels about you and regarding the double murder of your wife and your wife's friend. Yet you still are gonna say something like that. This is why you don't. There's certain people that probably should not be participating on social media on a regular basis, and OJ is one of those people. Now, when you say something like that on the back end of that.
Now,
comment.
JD, as you referenced, there were a couple other videos that OJ Simpson put out on Twitter. JD, you want to talk about this? So the rumor was that he was the father of one of the Kardashians, that he had an affair, right, with Jenner. Do I have that right?
So, with Kris Jenner.
Right.
Yes.
So he decides to put out a video. Like anybody cares about that, is talking about that these days. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, but the video that OJ put out was that he was never sexually involved with her and never cared to be sexually involved with Jenner. And this is the third video he puts out. The second video he puts out was in reference to some of these, more of these OJ fake accounts. Oh, let's talk about that. Apparently, the OJ Simpson Twitter account sent a series of direct messages, including a string of 16 knife symbols, warning that if I find your ass, I will cut you, to a parody account that talks about the disgraced football star over his acquittal in '94. Now, apparently this was and is the real O.J. Simpson account that sent these direct messages, which makes this unbelievably ridiculous. And the guy who runs the parody account said, and if I don't delete it, you going to stab me too? In reality, I ain't lying. You, me, and millions know the truth. You tripping over a parody account. Lots of laughs. Welcome to Twitter, bruh. And then O.J. Simpson on the official O.J. Simpson account responds, like I said, delete this parody account, as you call it, or face serious consequences by me. I'll find your ass one way or another, so don't mess with me. I got nothing to lose. Grow up.
In all fairness, these parody accounts are getting really ridiculous. You can take whatever information you want. You can pretend to be whoever you want to, and people can report the account over and over and over and over and over. And unless Twitter takes it down, it's open season to do what you want. And in some cases, it can confuse people, and it can actually hurt businesses.
That's true, but if there's one person I don't care if it hurts, that would be O.J. Simpson.
But Avenatti has several parody accounts. Yeah. We have several parody accounts. A lot of people have parody accounts out there. I mean, LeBron has like 150 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I look at this is, are you really going to go after every person that is that spites you on social media? If you're O.J. Simpson, there are going to be thousands of people either trolling him or making comments like this.
Well, the juice is
he going to go after every single one of them?
He might go after every one of them. And I guarantee if that happens and something happens to one of those people, the rules will be changed.
Why can't
you can't argue that?
Why can't this scumbag murderer just enjoy his golf every day?
And his
have
cigars.
fun in Summerlin at his stupid wine bars and just have fun and be nice to everyone and take pictures like nothing ever happened, that you never decapitated anybody.
Because OJ needs a little bit of attention, Brian.
I mean, he
just needs some attention right now.
You want to talk about the one guy that lives in Las Vegas that if I heard the news the next day that maybe he drank himself to death or something happened where he fell down the stairs and broke his neck. I can't think of any other person right now in Las Vegas. Well, maybe a few. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, if it happened to OJ, I would smile and I would say good. And I understand he's a father and a grandfather. I know all that.
You know what's crazy?
This scumbag should not be in society.
He actually looks healthy in those videos, despite the fact that
of course he looks healthy.
He looks healthy.
He probably ate great behind bars.
He looks like he's doing okay.
Well, you know what's going to happen with OJ. The guy's going to live to be 105 years old, Brian. Come on now. That's what happens with people like this. Yeah, it's you want to believe that karma is going to exist for people like this, but it doesn't happen that way.
What do you guys think is going to happen here? See, I think he's such an idiot, and I don't think he's very intelligent. I think he's going to really say something or do something really dumb on social media. He might already have. Now, if you threaten somebody's life, that's a serious thing. And if it's in writing on the internet, in black ink, as they say, on the internet, that could violate his probation, could it not? What do you guys think about that? Do you think that O.J. Simpson, now that he has decided to join social media, do you think that he is going to do a blunder? He's going to make a big mistake on social media. He's going to say the wrong thing to the wrong person. It's going to be reported. Do you think there is a chance that he could land his ass back in jail because of social media? Do you think he's dumb enough to do that? Because my response to that is yes, absolutely. I do think he's dumb enough to do that. I'll open up the phone lines. The number to call if you want to be a part of the show, 702-257-5396. Again, that number, if you want to be a part of the show, give us a buzz, 257-5396. And what do you guys think? Do you think OJ is going to do something really dumb on social media? It's going to cost him. And do you think there's a chance that he could violate his probation on social media? That's not an easy thing to do, but it is possible, guys.
I mean, he could have. It sounds like his lawyer is actually running this account, by the way. So if something, it would be interesting if something did happen based on Twitter digitally, or if the footprint was digital, but it was actually an in-person type of thing. It would really set precedent for the future for Twitter. I could see OJ being a part of setting precedent for the future of Twitter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible, Brian? It's 100% possible, okay? Because as you pointed out, and it's true, it's not like O.J. Simpson is the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree, okay? So there's no doubt that something could happen. It's more of a wait and see type of thing. It's not. I don't think it's a matter of if. It's just a matter of when.
I agree. That number to call again, 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Yeah, there was some political news, by the way, over the weekend. There was quite a bit of political news to get to that I want to get to. But in regards to Donald Trump, our favorite guy that we always enjoy talking about on this show, well, let's start off with, I guess I like to call it the cough incident. You know, when the doctor tells you to turn and cough. No, not that kind of cough. But Donald Trump is doing an interview with Stephanopoulos, and it was an interview that certainly made national news. And while he's doing this interview, he's answering some questions. And he responds to one of these questions. I want to play this audio because somebody on his staff decides to cough, which happens, by the way. We're human beings. We cough from time to time. So I want to play this audio. I want to know what you guys think about this.
You'll be very impressed with the job I've done.
You're going to turn it over?
No, at some point, I might. But at some point, I hope they get it because it's a fantastic financial statement. It's a fantastic financial statement. And let's do that over. He's coughing in the middle of my answer.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like that, you know?
Your chief of staff.
If you're going to cough, please leave the room.
So Trump just has a hissy fit. He's being interviewed, and he says, if you cough, leave the room. First of all, let me just say this. Can you imagine Barack Obama ever talking to somebody like that? Can you imagine if Barack Obama was doing an interview and somebody coughed in the background? Can you picture Obama saying, if you're going to cough, you better leave the room? No, because he respects other people, regardless of policy. Donald Trump, this is his MO. This is what he does. The guy coughed. Who cares? Don't cough during my interview. I mean, this is typical Donald Trump, is it not?
This is one more element of narcissists wanting to control every single thing that they think they can control. And we all understand that when something like this happens, when somebody coughs in a room, Donald Trump, irrationally believes that he should be able to control it, and he can't, and so he's upset.
I'll tell you
that's what went down.
I've been on set of major music videos before, and if you cough and it picks up on it, you have to redo the thing again. So I understand where he's coming from there.
But this isn't a music video; it's just an interview.
Yeah, it's the president of the United States, which is much bigger than any other music video. It's still Donald Trump being interviewed. So I don't have a huge issue with him saying, please don't cough during the interview. Why?
That's not what he said, though. He also said, leave the room.
Okay, well, same thing. Yeah.
Sometimes people cough. This is a member of his staff.
So Mick Mulvaney? He said it was his chief of staff. Mick Mulvaney was his chief of staff,
exactly
right?
So yeah. What do you guys think about this? Give us a buzz. I just think it's typical Donald Trump. 257.
It's textbook Donald
And we're going
Trump.
to talk about the pollsters and that nonsense too. If it's a poll that makes him look good, all he wants to do is talk about it. But if it's a poll that doesn't make him good, people get fired. And don't listen to the polls. It's fake news. But if it's good, Oh, let's just pay attention to the polls. Yeah, there's some polls. We'll get to that show that Joe Biden's beating him. 257-5396, the number to call, 702-257-5396. Oh, boy, I better leave the room. Let's go to Dave. Dave, what's going on?
Brian, I really agree with you about O.J. Simpson.
Well, that's refreshing.
There was so much evidence against him. I mean, it was irrefutable.
It was, Dave. Dave, yeah, there was. But you know what, Dave? I'll tell you what didn't help. The racist Mark Furman, that didn't help. I'm not saying he didn't do it because you heard my opening remarks, but Mark Furman's a racist. I think that the LAPD did an absolutely horrible job. I think Darden and Marcia Clark were terrible, terrible prosecutors, and you had a bunch of buffoons on the jury. So you add all those together, you get a not guilty.
Yeah, and I think he's excited by that, and I think he thinks he's going to somehow get his good name back with these posts on Facebook or whatever.
Do you think he really, Dave, because that's scary, and you might be right, do you really think that he believes that he thinks he's going to ever get his good name back, if he ever had a good name?
I don't know, but I know a lot of people, I mean, this is also something about juries in America.
Oh, it's a joke. I agree. I mean, there should be an IQ test. I think the same thing for a jury. You have to have above a certain IQ to be on a jury and to vote. I have always said that. I stand by that, Dave. Hey, Dave, good to hear from you, my man. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it. 257-5396. Let's go to Philip. Philip, what's up? Thank you for the call, Philip. Must have been on the OJ jury pool. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy, what's going on?
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with you more as far as President Obama respecting people, because this guy, he gets on TV and he says there's not a smidgen of corruption or no scandals during his presidency. He had all kinds of scandals, and the biggest one.
Okay, but we weren't talking about scandals. We were talking about the biggest. That's not what I said.
He attempted coup on the president of the United States.
Okay, I didn't say.
What do you think is going to happen with that?
Okay, first of all, let's back up a little bit. I was talking about respecting other individuals. I didn't talk about any supposed alleged scandals. And I said if Barack Obama was
talking about the scandals.
Okay, we know
I'm talking about Obama disrespecting every.
You just brought up a coup. You just brought up a coup. Do you think that the former president of the United States is involved in some type of coup to overthrow President Trump in his administration?
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely 100% ridiculous. You have no basis whatsoever.
We shall find out.
Well, we could. You know what? If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, what a Merry Christmas we'd all have. Okay. If you're gonna make a claim like that, at least bring some evidence or something that is concrete. You got
to read the paper and watch the news.
Right, read the paper. Yeah.
Read the paper. Yeah.
You know what,
okay.
Jimmy? I heard a rumor. I'm not saying this is true, but I heard a rumor that Donald Trump was going to join the KKK after his presidency. Now we'll just have to wait and see what happens, Jimmy. Right?
I heard a rumor that there are Russian prostitutes that were urinating on Donald Trump in a Moscow hotel room.
Hey, Jimmy,
there's more evidence of that than there is of Barack Obama igniting a coup on President Trump.
Jimmy, let's just wait and see.
Yeah.
Just like what you said. Let's just wait and see, Jimmy.
Well, Barr's investigating as we speak.
Jimmy, can we just be serious and talk about what I started the show with? I said if Barack Obama was in a room and somebody coughed, Barack Obama would say, if you got a cough, can you please leave the room, and would stop an interview. That's the only point I'm trying to make there. Say what you want about Obama's policies. Obviously, you're an Obama hater for whatever reason, and that's fine.
I'm a hater, but if the guy is trying to pull a coup on the president of the country,
I was talking. What are you talking about? There's no
makes
coup.
No sense. There's
are you
no
confusing?
Coup.
Are you confusing the coup with the Ku Klux Klan?
Barack Obama has been he's surfing. He's been out.
Oh, good Lord!
Yeah, he's been out enjoying his time off.
I saw he was in France
and creating documentaries.
All right.
Yes,
lots of documentaries.
Jimmy, thank you for the call. I guess
great
we'll have
call,
to.
Jimmy.
Yeah,
please call back.
I guess we'll.
I really enjoyed it.
You have to be sarcastic, JD. Are you throwing one of your
100%?
You have to be sarcastic.
It's the way JD and JD's right to be that way because it's completely ridiculous. Like
redonkulous
to make that point that the former president is igniting a coup against President Trump. You have to be kidding me.
Unbelievable. All right, I'll give out the number again: 257-5396, 5396. Also, very interesting that, when these polls come out, these early polls come out that made Donald Trump look pretty bad, that Joe Biden way ahead of him in some key battleground states. And he fires some of these pollsters, and he's angry that it was leaked out. But yet, constantly, when he was campaigning, when any polls look good in his favor, all he wants to do is talk about it. You can't have it both ways, Mr. President. You just can't. He is a petulant child. That's what he is. And this issue is a perfect example of that. 257-5396. Let's go to Brady. Brady, what's up?
Yeah, how you doing? You were talking about Obama again, and that man was the king of con. He was the one who could be like the Cheshire cat in the room and act like he was so professional when he came out in front of those TV screens and the TV cameras. But you know what? He was the original deep state mole in the White House. And there's a meeting that goes back to July 7th when Trump, right around at this time period, right around 2016, when this all happened. And that's when James Comey walked in with that fake dossier, and they all went.
Here we go. The fake dossier.
Okay, Brady, hang on. Brady, let me just start by asking you. I want to see if you can be intellectually honest on this show. You called Obama a con. Would you say Donald Trump, for much of his life, was also a con man? And by the way, I disagree with you, but that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Would you agree that at times Donald Trump in his life, during business and as president, has also been somewhat of a con man? Would you agree with that, Brady? Can you agree with that?
Well, I'd say he has somewhat of an Avenatti side to him. Sometimes he's got that New York businessman.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
You know what that is, Brian, right there? You know what that is? That is
not what I asked
yes.
you.
He's saying yes. He's saying yes.
Is that
Donald
a yes?
Trump has.
Can you say?
He's trying to talk around it, but he's saying yes, Donald Trump has.
So would you agree, Brady, yes or no, that at times Donald Trump can also be a con man? Yes or no?
Okay, I'll have to say yes. Maybe
okay, fine.
Time.
Thank you. That wasn't so hard, to be a little honest, was it, Brady?
Okay, can I hang on now?
Would you agree, Brady, that when Obama promised the things he promised with the new health care bill, a.k.a. Obamacare, that was kind of a con?
No. And I'll tell you why.
Obamacare said, remember that one where he said you could keep your doctor and whatever and keep it too? No.
Let me ask you something else.
Was that a lie, you guys? Was that an not lie by President Trump when he said that?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not. It was absolutely not a lie, and I'll tell you why very quickly.
By President Trump or Obama?
But President Obama.
Okay.
When he said that...
Can I bring up one point that you guys, in the news media isn't playing this too much, that came out in the New York Times 2 days ago? What was found out that Obama did behind the scenes is he put Russian malware into their system to close down these electric grids over in Russia. And for 3 years, he didn't tell Donald Trump. So don't tell me he's playing fair, and he's not the original deep state coup. Who the hell's working with the Russians? He's putting malware onto their systems. What do you guys do not get?
See, this is what the problem is that, we're having an argument here, and you're basing you're basing it on something that's factually inaccurate. It's not true. And so that when we have a debate, when Trump supporters and non-Trump supporters have a debate, and a Trump supporter brings up something like this that's not true, it just destroys the whole argument.
He calls Obama a mole in the White House. I was going to ask him, what would you call Donald Trump in the White House? How about the con in the White House? 257-5396. Let's go to Joe. Joe, what's up?
Hey, Joe.
Hey, I wanted to comment on the polls. First of all, I don't disagree that they're accurate for what they are, and I'm not sure if President Trump had this information, but I did see that on MSNBC.com that along with the polls, the 77% of those surveyed said that they had a high likelihood that their mind could be changed. So, again, I don't know if he had that information, and I'm not
Joe, I don't dispute. Joe,
but I do think that they are very soft at this point.
Fair
so
enough.
I wouldn't make a lot of them.
Fair enough, Joe, and I appreciate that. Let me just respond by saying this. A lot of the polls said that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election, so I don't disagree. The point I'm trying to make is if the polls look good for him, he wants everybody to talk about it, and when they don't look good for him, don't talk about it and ignore it. That is what a child would do.
And I think that because of the absolute hatred from the left towards Donald Trump, supporters of his are kind of afraid to be open about it because they don't want to get attacked.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for all them. Let's go to
behind the scenes. They will absolutely check his name on that poll.
Let's go to Becky. Becky, what's up?
Hey, how are you today?
Good, Becky. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hi, I wanted to comment in regards to O.J. Simpson.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I was thinking is he's doing all these things because really when you try to place yourself in his position of somebody that beat a double murder charge.
Yeah, I would never be in his position.
You know?
I would never be in his position because I would never kill my ex-wife.
Well, true. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think for him, the power involved in all this is what drives him. And I think if anyone's a narcissist, he's a narcissist.
I would agree. Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you a question because I've heard you speak about O.J. a couple times.
Yes.
And the attorneys. What do you think of the attorneys that represented him?
Good question.
I mean,
Good question.
Where is their responsibility?
Good question, Becky. And you know what, Becky? I've talked about this all the time. There is no doubt in my mind, Robert Shapiro, the late Johnny Cochran, Bailey, there is Rob Kardashian. They all knew he was guilty. No question in my mind. Now, when you ask attorneys, how do you represent a scumbag like that you know is guilty? The response is usually the same. They all deserve a defense. We're defending the Constitution. I don't know how Robert Shapiro goes to sleep at night. Because I'm going to tell you something. If O.J. killed his daughter, I wonder if he would feel the same way. Okay? What do you say to the Goldman family? What would Robert Shapiro say to the Goldman family? Johnny Cochran comes up with this great slogan, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. You know, how long did he have to wait for that? Those attorneys, they made millions and millions of dollars, including Marcia Clark and Paul Darden, who did a horrible job. They all profited off those two murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, who were brutally murdered. And now this bastard, O.J. Simpson, yeah, that's what I'm going to call him. He's a bastard, okay? O.J. Simpson is playing golf every day in Summerlin and hanging out in wine bars. It is despicable. Make no mistake about it, is despicable. We got to take a quick break. We'll take more of your calls on this. And, of course, the Donnie news at 257-5396, 702-257-5396. I promise I'll get to all your calls. We got Scott, Chris, Steve, Mike, Brian on the line. We will get to all your calls when we come back at 257-5396. We do have one phone line open if you'd like to join the program. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take. All right, welcome back. It is The Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us. Again, a reminder, we are going to be broadcasting live from Rhodesia, which is on 1300 West Sunset Road, on Thursday. Come on down, 5 to 8 p.m. Free appetizers and drinks. Check us out. I'll be signing some 8x10 photos. JD, they didn't give JD 8x10s. They gave him 2x4 photos. They just didn't want to spend the money. But that's cool, though. I mean, 2x4 is big enough for your signature, right?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I can deal with that.
Chris Wynn's going to be there as well. He'll be taking selfies with people. So, no, it is going to be a great time.
Only dudes.
And we are going.
I'm not afraid to do that.
Certainly not only dudes. And it is going to be.
And I heard JD talking on Friday about the menu. There's going to be some quality appetizers on hand, right?
And the key word, free.
Yes.
Now, the food's great out there. And we're going to have some, I don't want to make any announcements yet, but we're going to have some very special celebrity guests coming in Thursday as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
The name of the game is bacon.
Yes. We're gonna
so much bacon.
I want to get back to this Donald Trump stuff. Of course, the pollsters, they're fired. They're fired. He still thinks he's on The Apprentice. And, if it's a poll that looks good in his favor, he wants everyone to see it and he wants to talk about it. He's admitted this. And then if it's a poll that's not in his favor, just ignore it. It's an absolute, utter joke. But should we be surprised? And God forbid you cough when he's doing an interview. He just explodes on you. The number to call, 257-5396. Let's go to Chris, who's been waiting patiently on hold. Chris, how are you?
Hey, Brian. How's it going, guys?
Good. What's on your mind, Chris?
Nothing much. My thing with the polls is, obviously they got it wrong in 16. And I think they're getting it wrong again as of now because none of these polls are even acknowledging Howard Schultz, and I find that a little difficult that they can't acknowledge him. I know he's running as an independent, but lifelong Democrat, as according to him, and stuff. So it would be nice if they would kind of just cover everybody that's going to be on the ballot. And then versus Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Well, I don't listen, Chris. I'm not going to defend these pollsters. I'm not going to defend. Like I said, they all said that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election. They're not always right. Now, most of the time, they're probably right. But I don't agree when you take a small percentage of people and then represent an entire state. It's not always going to be accurate. So I certainly agree with you on that front. Again, the point I'm trying to make is this is another example of good old Donnie acting like he is a 12-year-old.
Right, immature.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I totally agree with you.
No, he doesn't even have to bring it up, Chris. Let's just say somebody in the media asked him a direct question. What do you think about these new polls, Mr. President, that say that Biden are defeating you in this state and that state? A typical normal response by a normal human being would be like, well, listen, we got a long way to go. It's a few years away. They also said that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election, and look at how that turned out. I would actually be okay with that statement because he would be right.
Right.
Yeah.
Once again, Mr. Brian, I look forward to meeting you guys on Thursday, brother.
Thank you, Chris.
God bless you guys. You guys are doing excellent.
Thank you, Chris. Listen, appetizers are on me because they're free. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Good,
I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you, Chris, Thursday. Thank you so much. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Scott. Scott, how you doing?
Hey, Brian, and away we go.
Uh-oh, this is going to be a fun call. I could already tell. Go ahead, Scott.
Always fun with me. Hey, I got a great campaign slogan for Joe Biden.
What's that?
Well, Obama had hope and change. How about Joe Biden used grope and change?
That's got a good ring to it. What do you think about my campaign slogan for Donald Trump? It's called I'm a scumbag. Vote for me in 2020. Do you like that one?
Well, whatever you want.
Or how about this? I like this one too. Grab them by the you-know-what. They'll let you do it if you're a celebrity. I like that one too.
I'm surprised you're not defending O.J. Simpson. I mean,
you're surprised.
Why would anybody in their right mind defend O.J. Simpson? Scott. Why would I defend O.J. Simpson? Why would you say that? Don't insult me like that, Scott.
You defend Alec Baldwin.
So you want to compare a double murderer to an actor that you might not like his political views? What is wrong with you, Scott?
Wait a minute. You said he was a great actor, didn't you?
I stand by that.
He is a great actor.
He is a great actor.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever listen to Don Imus? Don Imus said he was a hack.
And Don Imus is a hack. What is he doing these days? What is Don Imus doing these days? Alec Baldwin has won awards recently. Please explain to me what Don Imus has done in the public eye in the last 5 years. No. You just brought up your idol. No. You just brought up your idol, Don Imus. Now I'm going to destroy you. Now I'm going to destroy you. No, now I'm going to destroy you because you just made a mistake, Scott. Mistake number one. Don't say something stupid and not factual on this show, my friend. Don Imus called those women nappy-headed hoes because he's a racist, and he got fired, and his career is over, okay? He's the one that is the wash-up, not Alec Baldwin. This has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with the fact that Alec Baldwin is a talented guy and Don Imus is a hack. What do you think about that, Scott?
Well, I didn't hear that. Say that again.
No. I'm not going to repeat it again. Goodbye. You didn't hear it because your ears don't want to hear what are actual facts. Don't you compare Alec Baldwin to O.J. Simpson, you nut job. 257-5396 is the number to call. Fernando, what's going on?
Hey guys, good show again.
Thank you.
With the OJ thing, you gotta blame the LAPD. There's times where they went out to their house and the cops didn't arrest him and do nothing. The chief of police, Daryl Gates, and all those people, all the commanders, told him not to arrest him. OJ was giving them tickets, giving them jerseys, and all that.
Yeah.
So blame them. Okay.
I certainly agree. Hold on, Fernando. I'll let you finish. But
my family too.
I certainly agree, and if you recall, I said the LAPD didn't help. I also do not believe they planted evidence. I think that was nonsense. There was no evidence to prove that they planted evidence. Mark Fuhrman's a racist. Let's call it what it is. He is a racist. He didn't help either. Fernando, I think there were a lot of reasons. You named one of them. I agree. The LA Police Department did a horrendous job. The investigators did a horrendous job. They mishandled some of the evidence. But I think there were a lot of. I think that the bottom line is, Fernando, and I think you'll agree with me, guys. I think you'll agree with me on this one. You could have the police department could do a fantastic job. The evidence could be great. If you have a bunch of racists or a bunch of morons on the jury, and this goes both ways, then the person who, it's not going to be fair. Okay, that's why I call it the injustice system. That's why I think that it's very difficult to find out if somebody's biased, but it's not too difficult to figure out if somebody has a brain. And that's why I think there should be an IQ test if you're going to be on a jury.
Nicole Brown was no angel. Okay, she had many affairs during her separation. She was no angel. She was out there doing what she did.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. We don't want to turn this into. We don't want to turn this into a blame the victim thing, though. Look,
you think
Nicole
if you
Brown
cheat,
Simpson absolutely had.
Fernando,
well,
he
can't
beat
really go down that
Fernando.
road,
Hold
though.
on, Fernando,
Yeah.
he beat her.
Yeah, you
and there
can't
is
go down that
proof
road.
of that. Regardless of whether there was infidelity
It's not
or not,
justified.
he beat her. Why would you even begin to bring her up and attack her? She got decapitated and murdered. Why would you do that?
The laws of the land, not guilty.
So you think O.J. is innocent?
Wait a
Is
minute,
that what
you
you're
don't-
saying?
You don't think he killed those two people?
Do you think O.J. is innocent? Yes or no?
It was innocent, yeah, not guilty. Yeah.
I didn't ask you if he was found guilty or not guilty. We all know the answer to that. I asked you another question. Hold on. Answer the question. In your mind, do you think O.J. Simpson was responsible for those murders? Yes or no?
No, he's a murderer. He's a murderer. No.
So how did his DNA get there? Please explain to me how his shoe footprints were there. Please explain to me how there's evidence that he was a block or two away from the crime scene. Please explain to me all those things.
Racist police department since the 1900s.
So you think they just put... So that's not what I asked you. How did they put his footprints on the scene of the crime? Why did he have that cut in his thumb? Why was he a block away from the murders when they happened? How was his DNA on the crime scene? This is a man who beat his wife on multiple occasions, who clearly has had anger issues his entire life. You're telling me you think he's completely innocent and he had nothing to do with those two murders. Is that what you're telling me on a 50,000-watt radio station right now?
Yes.
That is absurd. Well, I think that's absurd.
That's everything, Brian. You know everything, Brian. Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, I hope you never are on a jury, ever, Fernando, ever.
Many times.
I hope you are never on a jury. Okay. Well, you know what? You were exactly the kind of person that I would never want on a jury. If you think...
Police officers and all that. They know all that stuff in LA County.
I'm sorry?
Okay, the connections, okay? So...
So in your mind, O.J. is completely innocent. He had nothing to do with the murders. Do you also think he did nothing wrong at Palace Station? Are you
not guilty, innocent?
Okay. All right.
Because you didn't live down there. You don't know how it was.
You're right. I have no idea, Fernando. You're right. Well, the evidence was just all of it was just planted there. They happened to get O.J.'s shoe size.
So
they got
wait a
his
minute,
shoes.
and we have to live in Los Angeles to have an idea about whether or not O.J. Simpson's guilty of murdering two people. I don't really understand the rationale there.
That's just absurd. I don't.
What
I don't
difference does that
understand.
make?
It's just completely absurd opinion. I think Fernando was just trying to get under my skin. It didn't work. 257-5396 is the number to call again. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Ann. Ann, how's it going?
Hi, it's going great. I wanted to comment on the question you had with asking a coughing person to leave when you're in an interview.
Okay.
And, who the fuck cares if the president of the United States
first of all,
asks
Ann,
and would Obama
Ann, first of all, don't say the F word.
Yeah,
okay, we're not on satellite radio. So before we talk about coughing, understand you're on a radio station and you can't say the F word. Luckily, we have a 6-second delay. So I will let you continue if you do not yell obscenities.
I will not.
Okay,
I
thank
won't.
you. Okay, go
Forgive
ahead.
me.
Go ahead.
Would Obama do such a thing? Maybe. And if he did, nobody would crucify him over it.
You don't think you don't think Republicans would crucify President Obama if he did the same thing that President Trump did in that room?
I don't think I don't think they would think that way. To be honest with you, have you ever been in a meeting and
yes, I have.
somebody
Yes, I have.
coughed and coughed and
I've
coughed,
actually
maybe
been live on the radio. I've been live.
And they said, hey,
I'm trying to answer
go
your
out
question.
and get a drink of water.
No. That's not. First of all, that's not the way Donald Trump handled it. He was very rude in the process. Get out of here if you want to cough.
That's why
Number
we
two.
love Donald Trump. He just is blunt. He shoots from the hip.
He definitely shoots from the hip.
So let me ask you a question.
You are right on that.
So let me ask you a question, Ann. And by the way, what you just said, I've had guests cough on the show. I've never said, get out of here if you're going to cough. They hold their mouth, they cough, and then we move on. But number two, then again, I'm not Donald Trump. I'm not the scam artist in chief. But anyway, let me ask you a question, Ann, and try to be honest with me here. Talking from the hip, as you said, right? That's the guy. Mm-hmm. So when he goes after John McCain after he's already died and he says, I should have gotten credit for his funeral, when he says, I'm not a fan of John McCain, and then he goes on and never has said one positive thing about John McCain, when people as an administration, or maybe him, decide to cover up the John McCain ship, the name of that, and Trump defends it, is that speaking from the hip, or is that just being a complete a-hole? Which one is it?
Trump, have we ever had somebody like Trump? No.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you
No,
to.
I know. To be honest with you, he's got his reasons for McCain, and I'm sorry. There are things that when he does talk, we cringe.
So
And we
you're
go,
telling
oh, my
me,
goodness,
okay.
why are you doing this? But we sit back and we laugh because it's like.
So you think it's funny when you go after someone's war service of being a POW? You laugh.
No,
You sit
I
back
don't
and
think
laugh
it's
with your
funny.
husband. You think that's funny?
No, I didn't say that that's what we're laughing about. I'm just saying his comments sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm specifically talking about that comment. How do you feel about that? Is that speaking from the hip?
Yeah, I think it is. I think he's got
you
issues
attack
with
some.
McCain, and there's things that probably went on between those two.
And you know what? Regardless of what went on between those two, and from what I understand, it was policy, you're defending it right now, and you're on the air saying that you're okay with going after someone's war service, a POW, and attacking that, and you're okay with that. And I'm sorry, Ann, with all due respect, I find that to be disgusting, his comments. I really do.
Yeah, no, you have your opinion. That's fine.
Well, here's a fundamental difference too between someone like John McCain and someone like Donald Trump. John McCain had to face this when he went into a town hall and a woman said that Barack Obama was a Muslim, and I think for all intents and purposes she thought he was a Muslim terrorist, and he had to correct the woman and say, look, no, that's not true. We just have policy disagreements,
right,
okay?
Exactly.
But he's a good man.
Because it's called class.
That's class. That's
exactly.
what John McCain would do in that situation. Donald Trump does exactly the opposite. Yeah,
I agree, but McCain's also had a lot of service working in the government, and all I can say is if the media would. If the media would just promote what Trump's doing.
Can I ask you another question, Ann, since you brought that up? For 8 years when you were watching Fox News and when 90% of the time they attacked Barack Obama, did you say the same thing about Fox News?
No, because
of course not. What a shocker.
On with Obama.
Right. Of course not. So that was okay to attack Barack Obama for 8 years. That you found that to be just fine. But when others attack Donald Trump, and I believe rightfully so, you want it to go away, and we just want to talk about positivity.
I totally understand. They're attacking him, but there's like all this good stuff he's been doing. You don't hear about that.
What are all the good stuff that he's been doing?
Well, let me ask you: Did your paycheck go up in January of last year?
No, it didn't.
It should have.
No, it didn't. And by the way,
full disclosure, mine did. A lot of Americans. Yes, your paycheck. Yes.
Okay.
People's paychecks have gone up
Here's
in
something
America.
that
They have, yes.
Listen, Ann,
is that
a lot of people want to talk about unemployment numbers down, and they are down. But a lot of people that are working in this country are working horrible $12 an hour jobs, but nobody wants to talk about that. Okay, these are not high-paying jobs, and guess what? It is the Republicans that do not want to raise minimum wage. It is the Republicans that do not want to help people with food stamps. It is the Republicans that do not want to cut off all these things to help people, Ann.
Now, wait a second. You know, and I know that if you're going to raise the minimum wage and pay these people, businesses are going to have to raise their prices. So it's all going to come out in the end.
That is not necessarily true. That is not necessarily. No, it's not.
That basically creates inflation.
Not necessarily true.
There are some high-level jobs being offered there, and I'll tell you, when Obama was in charge, there were so many businesses closing, and now when you walk into almost every business, we're hiring, and we just saw that they're hiring. They want top management people. So you guys need to maybe, I don't agree with you on that. There are a lot of people with great jobs, and they're getting raised.
Well, Ann, here's the thing, and it's called credibility. I appreciate your phone call, but here's my problem with your phone call. We could talk about policy. I have no problem what you said about minimum wage. That's fine. We could disagree on that. Here's my problem with this phone call, Ann, and you're not the only one. I'm not trying to single you out. I get calls like this every day. We get calls like this every day. When I talk about John McCain, and I talk about the horrific statements, and that's what they were, that Trump said about him being a POW. All I want to hear from you is a little intellectual honesty, and not say, well, we sit back and we laugh. What I want to hear from you is they were disgraceful comments, and even though we support the president's policies and we do think he's doing some good things, that was a disgraceful thing to say, and we don't agree with it.
He was wrong.
And why can't you say that and be intellectually honest?
And if you don't say that makes you wrong.
I agree with you. It was disgraceful.
But that's not what you said. You said you were sitting back and laughing with your husband. That's not what you said.
No.
You say he shoots from the hip, and that you laugh about it when it's things that aren't important.
I didn't say husband.
Okay, so let me hear it from you now. What do you think about those comments?
Well, I think that Mr. President Trump, he has no filter. And
You're making excuses for him.
That's not a positive thing.
No, goodbye.
When you say he has no filter, it's not a positive, okay? You don't, and I understand that there are some people out there that voted for him and said, you know what? He shoots from the hip. He's not a politician. Yeah. He says what's on his mind. Well, you know what? Sometimes when you say what's on your mind and it's wrong, then you have to call it out.
I agree. 257-5396. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, what's on your mind?
Hey,
Brian. What just happened there? Did we lose somebody? Jeff,
can you there, Brian?
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me, Jeff? What's going on?
Yeah, I can. Well, just to address that lady's point before, Trump has created thousands of good-paying jobs in the oil and gas industry, so that's one thing. But the reason I wanted to call in primarily was, the way that you treated Fernando about the O.J. Simpson verdict. Now, personally, I think
he was completely wrong. What are you talking about? How he treated him? He was wrong.
Well, I didn't hear the entire.
Did we lose you, Jeff?
But you sort of seemed.
Are your phone's cutting in and out? Is it? Your phone? We did. Yeah, we missed. Yeah, start over again because we missed it.
Well, we can't do that. We can't do that because we only have 30 seconds. Jeff, hang on the line. Jeff, hang on the line, Jeff. Yeah. Can you hang on the line? We'll get to you when we come back. Okay. I'll give you enough time. I promise you I will if you wait on hold. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. We've got Dennis Silvers, the golf guru, in studio. We have Jamison Welsh from Drive Time Sports, and we will get to your phone calls when we come back at 257-5396. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.